Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. I'm walking all over the place like a headless man. But here we go. I want to do some paint correction. I want to do paint correction on a black hood. Black paint, that gets everybody excited. Woo! We get to see a 50-50. Well, tonight, we're going to get a chance to see what Scott's capable of doing, what I want to help you be able to do for your customers or for your own cars. This is not scary. This isn't, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't afford the products. They cost too much money. I'm going to show you some great cutting ability. Let me back up here. Look down. Great cutting ability. I'm going to use Meguiar's M105. You want to know why? Meguiar's M105. This is silly. Let me point this camera up. Meguiar's M105, in my opinion, is one of the best compounds out there. Oh my God, that's going to start a fit. People are going to come out of the woodwork. Zern is better than it. Jescar is better than it. Scholl's Concept is better than that. Griot's has better compounds. Maybe even people think chemical guys, V32, V34, they're all great. Here's the truth. Meguiar's 105. I feel like I don't know what I feel like, but I'm in a good mood tonight because of you guys. Thank you so much. Meguiar's M105 was a game changer back in 2000, let me think about this, 2005, 2006. M105 may have been on the retail level or on the retail market in 2007. Some of us were playing with it in 2006. Some of us who were really, really fortunate were able to kind of play with the prototype, whatever you want to call it, in late 2005. But here's the deal. Meguiar's M105 has some issues. They're easy issues to deal with. I typically recommend to somebody who wants to get into paint correction, whether they want to learn on their own, it's always nice to grab a compound that's readily available. M105 is all over the planet. In fact, even now, you wouldn't have said this in 2007, you wouldn't have said it in 2008, but M105 is now available at Walmart. And thank God, it's great. I want to say, is Meguiar's now owned by 3M? I think 3M's got their hands in the works, in the financial works with Mr. Meguiar, so 3M is kind of doing all sorts of interesting stuff with marketing with Meguiar, so that might be why we're seeing it on Walmart's shelf. But anyway, I could be wrong, double check that, but I think 3M's got their hands in Meguiar's. Here's the deal. I'm going to use M105. It's easy to get, readily available all over the planet, and I'm also going to be using Buff and Shine Low Pro pads. Why? I don't know. I like it. I think for this particular test I'm going to do tonight, we're going to be working on a Jeep. I want to say it's late 2000s. It's black. It's got some scratches on it. I'm going to bring you in on it. But I wanted to talk about, I've talked about priming the pad. I talked about my issues with priming the pad. Should you do it? It's not a judgment by me. Do whatever makes sense for you. Meguiar's M105 has some really, really great perks, and it's got some stuff that a lot of people just don't like, and they don't like playing with it. I cut my teeth. Well, let me say this differently. I perfected my skills with paint correction when Meguiar's M105 came out. When Meguiar's M105 came out, there was nothing that can touch it. It was a game changer. Yes, a lot of compounds today, Jescar, Manzerna, Scholl's Concepts, you name it, even some of 3D's products are pretty good. But they were the benchmark. All the other companies had to figure out how to get over M105 and start pulling customers away from M105 because it was just fabulous. To me, been using it for so long, I understand its little quirks, is that what I want to call it? It has one issue that a lot of guys don't like. It likes to dust. Oh, excuse me as I drop everything here. Hold on a second. Yes, it likes to dust. Boy, talk about editing, huh? I should probably figure out how to edit things. But Meguiar's M105 likes to dust. There's an easy way to deal with dusting, easy way to deal with residue control. The other thing people don't like about Meguiar's M105 is It's grabby when you try to take it off the surface. After you're working with it, it's flashed a little bit, whatever you want to call it. It's given up the ghost. It's time to be done with your 6 or 8 section passes. It can be grabby taking off the spent compound off the panel, but that's an easy fix as well. But nobody will argue that M105 has great cutting ability. It's very, very predictable, user-friendly. I will say this, if you're a beginner and you want to learn on M105, well, really, if you're a beginner, you should be working at a direct sunlight. But that's my tip to you. I'm going to teach you some ways to control residue, control dusting, make M105 kind of play the way you want it to play. It's going to become a little bit more of a dynamic player in this scenario tonight, and I'll tell you some of the things I do. Are they secrets? Are they tips? I don't know. It's what I do. It works in my world, and I want to share it with you. Now, again, I'm going to be using these pads. Now, this pad here, you've heard me talk about these low-profile pads. What happens is they like to get grabby on the panel sometimes, but you know, sometimes my head is just filled with so much stuff, it's hard to translate and get everything out there. But one of the things I do, I don't prime the pad. I'm going to use M105, but I'm going to show you something that I do with these pads, or any pad for that matter if you really want to do it, is I'm going to take distilled water. Happens to be in a simple green bottle. It's distilled water. And I'm going to spray the surface of this pad just like this. I'll spray it away from the panel. The panel happens to be behind me. But I'm going to spray this pad. I'm going to get it pretty wet, guys. Pretty wet, so it's dripping. I'm not saturating the back of the pad, but this pad now is dripping. It's dripping wet. I think it's probably showing there, right? I'm going to kind of wring it out, going to shoot it down on the floor a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cheap DA polisher from Harbor Freight. Going to do a review about this. I want to use this in tonight's video. Use it a lot because a lot of my beginners who are watching me, it's a great tool to get your hands on. You guys can play with this and get some great results. I'm going to take this wet. The face of this pad's pretty wet. It's still dripping. You know what? In fact, I want to get it a little bit more wet. That sounds weird, right? Bear with me. So I'm going to get a little bit more wet. A little bit more wet? Is that how you say that? I don't think so. I don't know. My English teacher's probably rolling over in her grave right now going, Scott, did you even pay attention in school? Well, I did. Her name happened to be Miss English. That's pretty wild, huh? I did Mrs. English, and I understand that you've gone to another dimension. Love you. I know you're watching me. Thinking about you. So I'm going to take this wet pad, right? And I'm going to put it on my DA. Try to center that up, right? I'm going to center it on my DA. Now it's wet. And if I spin it, it's going to shoot water this way. I'm going to back away from the camera. I'm going to turn this sucker on. I'm going to turn it on with the speed on 5. What I want to do is sling all the water out of this pad. Then I'll explain why in a minute. So I'll put it on 5. If you're working around people, put your hand in front of the pad so it doesn't fly off. If it could fly off, you don't want it to hurt anybody. And I'm going to turn it on. Okay, why did I do that? To control the dusting with M105 that could potentially happen on the panel we're going to work on tonight, I like this pad slightly moist. It's completely moist, slightly wet, slightly damp, however you want to look at it, all over the surface of the pad. Now I'm going to take my M105. You think I'd be all prepared tonight? Sorry, guys. I'm going to take my M105. Kind of turned out to be a beautiful day in Dallas. You know, we had thunderstorms, rain, a little bit of wind, and it turned out to be pretty nice. Somebody's going to tease me. Holy crap, Scott loves those polo golf shirts. I do. All right, I'm going to take my M105 and I'm going to put it, some guys like 3P size drops. That's cool. You can do that if you want. I'm just going to put a bunch of little drops all over this thing like a kid's got acne, right? I never really had a problem with acne. I guess was I fortunate? I don't know. I had other issues, but acne wasn't one of them. But here you go. My mom's probably watching going, oh, I remember your issues well, Scott. Love you, Mom. Okay, so I got a bunch of little dots all over. It looks like, holy crap, too much product. But it's not. It's like taking those 3 pea-sized drops and distributing them evenly across the pad. The pad is slightly wet all the way across it. I'm going to control residue. I'm going to control dusting. And now I'm going to turn the camera towards our little friend that we're going to work on tonight. You guys ready? Here we go. Hopefully I won't get too shaky on you. Turn this thing over. You know what? I'm actually going to bring you guys in. I'm going to show you what we're working on. Sorry we're getting so shaky here. This is a Jeep hood. It says Jeep on the front. Yeah, there's Jeep there. It's black. It's got a little bit of a metallic flake to it. You would never know it. It needs to be polished, needs to be cleaned, needs to be compounded, leveled, however you want to look at it. Look at these nasty scratches on the front of this hood. Looks like somebody was washing their car with O&R. Ha! That's a joke. O&R wouldn't do that. But I'm going to try to remove those. Am I going to try to remove them? I already know I can. Not because I'm the greatest man on the planet, but I've just been doing it too long. And I'm having fun tonight, if you guys haven't noticed already. No, I haven't been drinking. I'm just grateful. Hit 7 subscribers tonight, 700 subscribers tonight, and I'm grateful for it. Everybody's been beautiful and kind to me. So there's the panel. I'm going to come in here, do a 2x2 area, and get rid of these scratches, and I'll show you how M105 works. So let me get you back up here. God, this is a nightmare, right? I wish I had a camera crew, somebody that could watch over me, not just for paint correction, but I probably need to be watched over for various different reasons in my life, but that's cool. That's another story, another time. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to work a 2x2 area with M105. I'm probably going to use my DA polisher on speed 5, 5.5. Typically, I don't have to go 6. I think this thing's going to respond pretty well for me. I'm going to start off slow, spread out my product on speed 2, then ramp up to speed 5, 5.5. I'm going to do my 2x2 area. I'm going to use slow arm speeds. Most of you guys know that. I'm also going to make sure that my pad is spinning in that sweet spot. Not too fast, not too slow. And let's see what we can do here. You guys ready? I'm not going to put my cord over my shoulder. It's not an issue. If it scratches the front of this, I don't care. It's just a test panel. Let's see if we can get these scratches out. A lot of my beginners, a lot of people on here said, Scott, do a 50-50. We want to see if you know how to do it. So I'm doing it. It'll be fun. So here we go. I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to lower my speed on speed 2. Maybe tap it out a little bit. That's always fun to do, right? Get to see that. Turn it on, spread the product out. Then I'm going to ramp up to speed 5, 5.5. And I'm going to do a 2x2 area. Real slow arm speeds. Maybe do 5 or 6 section passes within that 2x2 area. And then let's take a look and see what happens. Now some of you might be saying, you said you were going to do 6. I did 4, I think. I don't even count anymore. It's not necessary. Not to be obnoxious, but... Okay, with M105, I'm going to bring you in lightly, moistening that pad, slinging out the water. I have very little dusting around my 2x2 area. It's not a big deal. It looks like there's a lot of product on here because the water mixes it with it. Here's the deal. A lot of compounds, you hear people say compounds today are water-based. That's not even true. It just means they have more water in them than they ever did before. Bringing or introducing a little bit of distilled water to make your pad moist and then wringing it out on your machine so that it's not dripping anymore, it's just slightly damp, and then using your product, it controls dusting with M105. I don't have a lot of dusting on the panel. I have plenty of product to keep working. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go back in and let's keep going. We can keep going with this. There's plenty of product here. In fact, those dots I put on it, I probably could have done half of this hood. That's something that a lot of people don't tell you. They're telling you 3 pea-sized drops only do a 2x2 area. Full of crap. Doesn't work that way. Companies want to make money. But here I go. I'll go back in. I'll just load. Oh no, I'll stay on speed 5, 5.5. Let's go back in. Sounds a little nasty, right? Like a plane's taken off. The hood is obviously not on a car. There's only, what do they call those things? Sawhorses holding this thing up, so you get a lot of vibration from it. But anyway, let's go in there and take up that residue or that spent compound. Now what I like to do, some of you guys have seen me do this before, I like to spray a little paint prep on here to make that compound not so grabby when I remove it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. Just a couple sprays, nothing crazy. And I'm going to come in here lightly and just remove the M105. Holy crap, Scott knows what he's doing. You want to know why? It looks perfect. Hey, it's Thursday night, I'm having fun. I'm going to bring you in and show you my little tricks of water in the pad, slinging it out, putting all those little tiny dots on the pad, using M105 on speed 5 on a cheap D8 polisher from, excuse me, from Harbor Freight, going over 5 or 6 times. You ready? Oh my goodness, where did those scratches go? They're gone. Here's the front of the hood. These are where the scratches were. I'm working in my 2x2 area, kind of getting that light. Look at that. That's amazing. Very little pressure. I don't have a lot of dusting on the panel. I got a little dusting, but not bad. I've seen people use M105 and the car looks like it's got sand all over it. Most compounds, if not all of them, if they're a cutting compound, are going to leave some dust. This is nothing to me. This is not as bad as people scream and have nightmares about with M105. Putting some water on that pad and slinging it out. But here's the deal. Those scratches are completely gone, right? This isn't a game of smoke and mirrors. I don't like 50-50s on cameras and stuff like that because anybody can make this stuff up. They can edit it later. I'm not trying to do that to you. But there's one thing, if you have a trained eye, M105 has left, and all leveling compounds, all cutting compounds are going to do this. It's left this surface slightly hazy. I love the fact there's not a scratch, a swirl, all that stuff is gone. You've seen how easy it is to do it. Some of you are watching videos and they make it like, oh my God, we're landing somebody on the moon. You got to overthink it. It's so technical. Holy crap, you better get a degree in polishing paint. Don't overthink it, guys. You don't have to overthink it. It's not that bad. But I just wanted to show you that. But now what I'm going to do is go in with M205 and refine that finish. But that looks pretty good, right? You saw me do it. It's not hard. I want you guys to grab a cheap DA polisher. Don't overthink it. Set it on speed 5. If you want to go to 6, that makes you happy. That's cool. Medium pressure, whatever that means to you. Just make sure the pad is spinning in its sweet spot. And get in there and go do it. Go make yourself some money. Work on your own car. Make people happy. Make yourself happy. Turn your car into a jewel like it's meant to be. But here we go. I'm going to put you back up on this podium. It's not really a podium. It's an old file cabinet. But that's the deal there. So now what I'm going to do, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take, I've already took the compound off with my paint prep. So I know this surface right now has nothing on it. There's no oils from M105 on the panel. The paint prep has taken that off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. I've already used this for my cutting or leveling of the clear coat to remove the scratches. I'm going to take Buff and Shine's maroon pad. This happens to be what they call their light polishing pad. Pretty cool. I like it. It's got some cut to it though. I've actually used this to remove defects like that. And I'm going to make a video in the future how a lot of us are overthinking pads and it's really not necessary. But I'm going to do the same thing with this pad, just because it's fun. Take distilled water, get it slightly wet. I'm not going to soak it like I did the other one, but just get the surface wet so it's just slightly dripping. I kind of like that word, dripping. Wring it out, and then I'm going to turn my machine on. This is a cool little trick. You can do this with just about every modern compound and polish out there because most of them have more water in them than they ever did. Not technically true to say they're water-based. It just means there's more water in them than there ever was. I'm going to turn the machine on and sling out the water. Don't want to do it near you guys. All right, so I turn that off, and what I'm feeling now, the pad is just slightly damp, lightly moist, however you want to say it, and that's fine. That's beautiful. I love it. The pad is kind of a little bit more pliable and flexible for me on the surface of the panel. I'm not going to get a lot of dusting with it. I'm going to control residue. So what I'm going to do, man, you think after all these videos I've made, I'd be prepared. I'm going to take M205. This is their Ultra Finishing Polish, M205. I'm going to put a couple dots on it just like I did the other pad. Just a couple dots. Don't overthink it. You don't want too much product, but that's cool. That's more than enough, okay? In that little 2x2 area. In fact, I could do half the hood with this, and there's going to be people that say, you can't, Scott, but yes, you can. But here we go. I'm going to go in. Now when I'm refining this finish, I don't need as much pressure. I don't need as much speed. I might be around 4.5 or 5, not 5.5 or 6. I may not have to do 5 or 6